Where are you from?
I'm from a small town in Georgia called Jackson.
What was life like growing up in Jackson?
Very small town, very country. It's a make or break city, so don't many people make it from there. A lot of people get stuck in the comfort zone of the city, but it's definitely a very rural area, very diverse. A lot of racism too, growing up. So that was something that I kind of noticed. And once I branched out to Atlanta, I kind of differed from away from that.
Were you a creative child?
Art was my passion. I grew up drawing. That was my outlet when I was growing up. So I kind of expressed myself. Whenever I was upset, I was sad, I would go draw. So that's kind of where my love for fashion came from.
Do you come from a creative family?
Yeah, my family is very musical actually. So they're more so on the musical side where I am on the fashion side of the things. But everybody in my family actually has their own creativity.
And so as you progressed through middle school and high school, did you participate in the arts? What were you doing?
I did. When I was in high school, I participated in art a lot. I had an art teacher. He actually had me enter an art competition. So I placed second place in the art competition when I was in high school. I drew this picture of Kanye West. So.
And so at what point did you decide to like start moving from visual art to fashion and clothing design?
I started my first fashion sketch probably my senior year of high school. That's kind of when I knew I was going to Clark Atlanta for college, but I actually ended up majoring in criminal justice. Fashion was my passion, but I kind of went more towards law because I love law too. But that's when I first started my sketching with art was in high school.
And so after high school, did you go to like fashion school? Like what was your next step to progress your career?
I didn't go to fashion school at all. I just started sketching out my pieces. I reached out to some vendors on Alibaba and I brought my vision to life. So I didn't go to fashion school at all. I kind of self-taught. I watched YouTube creators. I sat down, I watched them, I studied them. I seen what you needed to do to bring your pieces to life and I just followed directions.
Have you faced any challenges on your journey?
Absolutely. Learning how to get my message across. My brand is dedicated to mental health. So learning how to express the picture that I've drawn out to other people and help them understand the vision that I'm creating. My brand is a positive mindset brand that does bring awareness to mental health through symbolic representation. So my mission with this brand is to break the stigma around mental health of not talking about it. Individuals feeling like they have to succumb to what they're battling. I'm trying to show them different ways to release that pain. So I turn mine into fashion. You can turn yours into something too.
Can you talk a little bit about the circumstances surrounding the inspiration for this brand?
I've battled my own depression. So my fashion brought me out of depression. When I could turn my pain into fashion, that's what helped me release that. Versus sitting in it and drowning in it, I decided to create a clothing line. And I felt like a lot of people can do that. A lot of people just don't have an outlet. They don't know which way to go when they're in depression. So that's what I'm trying to show the world.
And so what is your ultimate goal for your brand? Like where do you see it going?
My ultimate goal, I am trying to become a licensed therapist actually. So I'm into the therapist field. My next project with my brand is actually a mental health cipher. So it's gonna be like a skit session. An artist, a poet would come in and have a therapy session with me. And I would ask them about their pain and they would express their pain by their music or their poetry. So that's my next project that I'm working on. Like I said, I'm just trying to create different outlets and show people how to release their pain and turn that depression into something else.
Who are some of the designers that you're inspired by?
Wholeheartedly, someone that I always admired in the fashion industry was actually Kanye. And it's just his expression, his outlet, just being different, just being himself. I know he's a misunderstood individual, and a lot of people are, but I like how he stays true to himself. So.
Yeah, he also kind of had like a mental health themed clothing line too.
Right. So even looking into that, just being able to talk about what you deal with, like that's the biggest thing of overcoming your depression, when you can find that space to talk about it and how to express yourself. So I applaud anybody that can do that.
How important is mental health for someone working as a creative who's selling their work? You know, it's serious. It's not for play anymore.
It's very important because you have to find a mental balance every day. Like you're trying to get this message out to the world, but at the same time, you have to take care of yourself too. Like people don't understand that it's okay to not be okay. And that's the most important thing. You have to be transparent with people. You have to show them like the battle that I'm trying to help you overcome, I faced it too. So it's very important to find your mental balance. Every day I speak affirmations over my life. So that's how I kind of deal with my mental balances throughout the week.
As a fashion designer, how do you feel about the impact of the fashion industry's waste on the planet?
To be honest, it's not even something that I actually have thought about, I guess. I guess it's a lot of things throughout life that are like what you just mentioned that we don't take time to think about. But because you asked me that question, I'm definitely going to do my research on it.
Are there any other mental health brand owners or companies that you like to collab with to move your brand forward?
To be honest, I haven't. It's a lot of brands that I see that I applaud, but just personally that I picked out, no, I haven't. And I guess solely because I try to get my own message across before I think about the collab with someone else. But in the future, I definitely would love to collab with other black-owned businesses. Alphaco that you are wearing is actually one of them. I see his brand all over IG, so I see he got the mental health thing going on. So.
What's been the most memorable moment in your fashion career so far?
When I first dropped my brand, I woke up one morning getting ready for work. I looked at Instagram and Swali was in Dubai with my brand on. And that was one of the, right? That was one of the highlights. I was like 2-3 weeks in. I had talked to his brother Jimmy. I sent the fit to Jimmy, and Jimmy ended up giving it to him. And I got a lot of content from that. He did like a store appearance. It was fans taking pictures. They sent them to me. They tagged me. What's on the Star kind of created a ad content for me. So it was a major moment.
What's been your experience as a black designer in the fashion industry?
It's been different. A lot of people are open to what I have to offer. Like recently, I reached out to Michael Corleone Blanco, and he actually responded back to me, and we were kind of chopping it up just about his mental health battles, of course, what he went through with who his mother is and how her life kind of went and how that impacted him. So as a designer, it's been interesting sending my brand out to people and seeing who's actually responding. Some of the responses that I get back, I'm kind of shocked by. Not that I underestimate myself, but you just kind of shocked by the reactions that you get from people that you kind of looked up to or watched.
What's the number one lesson that you learned while starting your clothing brand?
Take your time. Understand what your vision is, get your message across, but focus on your vision, most importantly. I think sometimes when you look at social media, people kind of get distracted away from what the true vision is, what they are building, and they're kind of looking at what everybody else is doing. But if you have a vision, just stay true to your vision.
Has your fashion career caused any conflicts in your everyday life?
Not at all. The more I talk about it, the more people are open. I kind of inspire people that are trying to start their own brand. It opens up the conversation about how did you get started. I'm allowed to help other people get to where I'm trying to go. So it's actually been, I can say it's been a blessing since I started.
For someone interested in starting a fashion brand, how would they, like, what would be the first step for them? Like,
I would say find your vision. What exactly do you want to do? And once you find that, figure out how you're going to get that message across to people. Like a lot of times people feel like they got to get like a bulk order of clothes. You don't necessarily have to. You might have 5 people that have major platforms. Use your people that you know. Use your resources. And a lot of times people don't realize how much they already know, and you feel like you need to know so much more. But the fact that you have the idea, just bring your ideas to life.
What inspires your personal fashion style?
I guess just how I'm feeling. Like fashion for me is an expression. Like I'm a very quiet individual, so usually my clothes are the most outspoken thing on me because I'm just a chill person. So it's just I wake up how I feel. I might just walk in the closet and just throw something together. I wouldn't say anything kind of inspires it. Just my love for fashion. That's it.
Does your family support your fashion career?
Absolutely. They treat me like the celebrity of the family every time I come home. So they definitely support me. Some family members, everybody has that non-supportive family member because everybody can't see where you're going or they don't understand why their life didn't go that way. So sometimes it's hard for people to show you support, but the majority of my family is.
For someone watching this who aspires to do what you do, what piece of advice would you have for them?
Let's see. The best advice that I can give someone that wants to start a brand is start it. Like, just do it. The biggest thing is procrastinating. Like, when I first designed my first design for my clothing line, it was 2 years before I dropped it. And I sat on it for the longest because I was scared to reveal it to the world. So I would tell people to release the fear. Like, don't be afraid to put your work out there.